To the girl who hates those hot dog leg selfies and just wants to snap up a hot deal.
Oh, there's another one.
Hashtag rest assured at Summer Girl 38. Message received. And to the working man who hasn't had a vacay in what feels like forever.
It's just been so busy that
Rest assured, Busy Bee. I got you.
Please don't call me that.
Whatever you're planning this summer, for a better rate, make it Maldron. Join now and save €10 at MaldronHotels.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Uplifting lives one day at a time. Kimmie, Kim, and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmie, Kim, and Elations Radio. Kimmie, Kim, and Elations Radio. Kimmie, Kim, and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Shout out D on the track, Paint Music Media. Shout out DJ Lee Productions, and I'm Al Care. But if you a game changer, got my head in, my grind on high, win, lose, and draw. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm full court press. I pledge allegiance to the best. Ain't nothing left to give it that. Reverence that the Father gets. So every day I work the sweat. Can get a flesh another rest. They say go hard or go home. I say just do whatever's best. It's evident I'm blessed and I work like it. Fight like a Viking. Fight like a lichen. The difference is I like it, so I shine like I'm lightning. So I'm going head to head with certain depth. Who you like it? Yeah. So it's time for coach to put me in. I'm strapping on my shoulder pads, lacing up my cleats, and then I'm gone with the wind. Like I'm gone in 60 seconds. You can't hold me, you can't check me. Check the memo, check the message, running through like I'm baddest. I'm trucking whoever's standing in my way. Ain't no way you gon' stop me. You better off to let me in. Cause I go hard, even though they say no way that I could win. Like I'm Brett Ford, I'ma ride this way. My head to the sky, my grind on high. Win, lose, the drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Yeah, I told you once before, my God came to change the game. Different outlook on to life, a different way to play the lane. Now my rushing yours is skyrocketing. Now I'm so insane. For the kingdom building, now my shot it cannot be contained. So I'm gon' pray for change for myself and then what I can. I don't need no euros or no pesos or no money grand. Shout out to Wado, cause I know that he gon' play this fam. The FCA sports camp, game changer, summer jam. I don't need 100 grand to tell them that they need to lamb. It's heaven, ain't just who I am. Al Kim, this where I stand. Then I'm gon' play the fifth. It's so deep to turn it quick. It's like I'm out from the trap to turn around, get back in it. Never that's so insane. It's evident your book they chain. Like I'm Jack Johnson, the same year he changed his name. So I sacrifice my life for the cause, just to win. And if you a game changer, let me see my head represent. My grind on high. Win, lose, the drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Now put me in, coach. 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 I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm a game changer.
Amen, amen. Welcome to to Fellowship Friday with Kimmie Kim. Hallelujah. This is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to be blessed and be glad and have a great time on today. And I pray that whatever you are facing, that all is well. And we have a wonderful guest on today. We have my brother, Gary Sturgis. And before we bring him on, let's first go to the Father in prayer, so we can make sure that this fellowship is all about him. And we want to uplift his wonderful book, because I really believe relationships are important. And let's go to the Father in prayer. Father God, in the name of Jesus, thank you once again for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you, Father God, for another good day. Let this wonderful fellowshipping time be about you and glorifying your ways and your precepts, Father God. Thank you for another day with purpose, another day filled with joy and love, Father God. We're going to continue on praising you and worship you, and we make this prayer in your Son Jesus' name. Amen, amen. And without further ado, we have my brother, Gary Sturgis. How you doing?
What's up? Good morning, good morning.
What's up?
Or afternoon, or whatever it is on your side of the world. It's still morning over here in Cali, so yeah.
Yeah, you know what, California, y'all never sleep anyway.
Yeah, it's funny. You're absolutely right. Cause I was sitting up here talking to the New Yorkers and East Coasters about 3-4 this morning. So you're absolutely right.
I think you guys make up for New Yorkers, since you're maybe 3 hours behind them.
About 3 hours behind. Yeah, about 3 hours behind. So yeah, by the time it's good noon on the East Coast, we're just cracking up the coffee out here. So yeah, it's we get to watch it happen first. And then we catch on. Actually, I have my Kool-Aid. I'm a black person. I'm from the South. I like Kool-Aid in the morning. So, I keep it real. People ask me all the time, how do you maintain so well, being that, you're 51 now, how do you maintain? I say popcorn and Kool-Aid. I just, eat popcorn and drink Kool-Aid. I'm not a big coffee person, but I'm not against it. But, yeah, I'm I'm a Kool-Aid guy.
So what's your favorite flavor?
I used to be into I'm a Q dog, so I used to be into the grape, but I really like the punch flavor. Like we used to say growing up, the red one. I like red. It's like funny because nobody ever really gave me the flavor. It's just it's like either the cherry or the wine punch. What is it? It's just red. I like the red one. Now it's a wine punch. I like the punch. Yeah, the red one.
The punch.
That punch.
Oh, you're funny. Now, Kool-Aid and popcorn, that is a combination. How do your stomach survive that?
Well, I don't know. I've maintained since childhood on the same stuff. It's like, I figure if it's not broke, don't fix it. You're trying not to change things up too much, but that's like my favorite snack, So I kind of I do a lot of writing. And usually when I'm writing, like when I wrote the book, that's what I was doing. I was drinking my Kool-Aid and eating my popcorn. So.
Kool-Aid. I'm going to try that if that helps me with my writing.
You should, girl. I show up to movie sets with it. I literally show up to movie sets and people are like, oh, you got your coffee? I'm like, no, this is like a cold cup of Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? I've directed a whole film with a cold cup of Kool-Aid. How big is my what now?
What is the size of your Kool-Aid? I'm sorry, what is your ounce size?
I have no idea. It's one of those, what do you call these little, these cups with the little tops on them or whatever. Same kind of cup you drink coffee out of that keep your coffee warm.
Okay.
That's the same joint yeah, that's the same joint. So it fits in the car. I can fit it in my little, as long as it fits in my little car, little slot there, I'm good to go. Got to travel with it.
Wow.
People actually see me around town, like, hey, what you drinking? It's cool. I put the ice in there to stay so for hours. Yeah, it's over.
Kool-Aid. So I love my Kool-Aid, so I understand. I got to keep it 100 too.
I've been drinking
I grew up on Kool-Aid
since I was a child. I grew up on it, so I prefer it over sodas. You know what I'm saying? So I just So
exactly.
For those who don't know, Gary Anthony Sturgis still drinks Kool-Aid. Yes.
And I do too. Hey, we are Kool-Aid drinkers. I'm with you, but my favorite
we're
cherry
being honest.
and lemon. Yes, we are.
So you got I'm not mad at the lemonade either. That's pretty good.
But no, you combine the lemonade with the flavor because it brings that stronger taste.
Most people like to combine. Yeah, like to combine. I just like throw 4 or 5 packs in and make it sweet. I'm really. I mean, and that's another thing. Even if I did have coffee, my coffee and Kool-Aid would be about the same. I've literally stood up at movie sets and I go to make my coffee and people say the strangest things when you're minding your business. They'll say things like wow, I mean, how many lumps of sugar are you going to put in there? Enough until it tastes good. Coffee's not the greatest tasting drink without it. So it's like I like mine sweet. I like some people say, well, I like my coffee cream. I like my coffee black. Well, I like mine sweet. So So when you see me sitting here dumping about 12, 13 cubes of sugar in it, don't trip. Don't trip.
Gary,
it's not
funny.
unusual. If I was home, I'd be pouring it in here, but you got cubes, so I'm working with what you got.
Cool.
I don't drink coffee.
Okay.
I gotta get
you another one. I like that 101 wheel. You know, keep it at 100. You know, even though you have wonderful projects behind you and coming your way, you're still drinking my Kool-Aid. I like that.
Oh yeah. Stick with the basics. Yes, man.
You never go wrong with the basics. So,
no, can't go wrong. You know what it is. You know what it does.
What's that?
You can't go wrong.
No, you can't. And it also gives you the opportunity to have a solid foundation of who you are as well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and also sets you up for sugar diabetes. But hey, you know what I mean? It's okay.
Now that's how you do it. Now if you drink water thereafter, you'll be okay. You just drink water. Just drink water thereafter.
Yeah, I try to get a little exercise in too, and a little water in to justify, why I'm drinking Kool-Aid for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But that's just me.
Oh, wow.
I think restaurants should serve it. All you restaurants out there that I frequent, I wouldn't mind if you served.
So we're gonna do a news. Do a news standby. We must have Kool-Aid in every restaurant, including my favorites. But.
Oh yeah, all my favorites need Kool-Aid. That would be nice. Because some of y'all be having some sodas. I'd be like, I don't drink those. So Kool-Aid. But yeah, don't mind me. I'm silly early. Yeah, I do drink Sprite. Don't get me wrong. I keep my Sprite on, my Coke on. Don't get me wrong. I tend to drink sodas more when I'm out of town than when I'm at home. At home, I just prefer water and Kool-Aid.
Oh, wow.
So if I'm in your town and you see me drinking a Sprite, you'd be like, I thought you drank Kool-Aid. Well, I do, but I don't make it when I'm out of town. It don't taste good on the road. It only tastes good when I'm at home. So I drink other stuff when I'm on the road, too.
Yeah, because people can't make Kool-Aid like you like it. That's why.
Exactly, girl. It's got to be sweet, all right? It's got to be sweet. You like my coffee?
Oh, my gosh. What am I going to do with you? So tell us, who is Gary Sturgis? Because you're an amazing brother. Humble but talented, grateful, but you're still giving back to the community. Who is Gary?
I am just I'm the son of Abraham and Sarah. I'm just a guy. Entertainer to the core. I've been in the entertainment business, ever since I was about 16, 17 years old. It's pretty much all I know how to do. For those who follow my career, most people know me for acting, but I've done quite a bit of writing and directing and producing and, all the things with ing on the end of it, acting, directing, producing, writing, I'm an ing.
You do a lot.
Don't know.
You wear a lot of hats.
I wear a lot of hats, and I wear them well. And I, the one that I'm most proud of is the writing hat, because in Hollywood, up until we found out about Wakanda, it was really hard for blacks to break in as writers. They don't really understand or accept our stories, and a lot of our stories aren't even urban. But the minute they see, a black writer, they just assume, it's going to be limited to this or limited to that, as if we don't have the creativity to think outside of the box or to think outside of our current parameters of what we see every day. I write all kinds of stories. I wrote about Hannibal Barker, the great general from Carthage. I've written science fiction stories. I've written all kind of fantasy stuff, zombie stuff. Lionsgate actually picked up one of the zombie joints that I did. So it's like I write a lot, and people are starting to see more and more some of my works. Oh, see, a little known stuff. I do. People know I do voiceovers and stuff like that.
Oh,
I write all the time. Yeah, wow. And that's how the book came about. Actually, from writing from writing scripts for years and TV programs for years. I had a couple of author friends who would say to me, "Well, hey, you ever thought about writing a book?" And at the time they would say it, I was like, book process is a little different. It's very long form, very detailed. I have really no interest in that. I'm more into the script form. But one day it just hit me like a sack of bricks, I had a story to tell. I had been talking to a lot of people, especially through social media. That's how we met. I'm very active on social media.
Yes.
I've been talking to a lot of women mostly, some guys, and they were all venting over the years about their relationships. Why I've been in a relationship for 6 or 7 years with a guy, and he walks away and marries some other chick in 2 months. Or, why, this relationship that I'm in, I need some sound advice on what I should do about it. Now, I never, ever, just so for the listeners out there, I never presented myself as a relationship expert or relationship guru or any of those things. I just was a guy that was married for a long period of time who people felt shoot from the hip, so they would ask me, how they should handle this situation or that situation. And it would happen all the time and very random. It's not like I promoted and say, hey, ask Gary. I never did any of that. People just for some reason decided I was somebody they could trust or somebody they could confide in, or I guess by my post that I would be honest or straightforward based upon the way I shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got 2 inboxes this morning with people saying, hey, I got this issue. I need to ask you your advice because you're a straight shooter. I've yet to answer because I just woke up a little while ago. But, I get this kind of stuff all the time, and that's kind of how the book #Why He Won't Marry You came about. We had talked, I know you and I had chatted a few times, maybe about a year ago, about relationship stuff too, so it's a very common conversation for me. I've been married for 27 years come September. So a lot of people see the longevity of my marriage and they say, well, hey, how do you make that work? So I tried to give a lot of good advice. Well, that's kind of how the book came about. If you notice, when we first talked a year ago when I wrote the book, it was called #Why He Won't Marry You. I've since added the subtitle of and how you can change that dynamic, because I want to leave the reader understanding that there's not a problem that you're having in a relationship that you can't in some way change or steer or redirect yourself. You have more control in the relationship than you think. I think a lot of times people just throw their hands up when they don't get their way like children, instead of saying, let me dig my feet into the trenches and try a different approach. My book is really about a few things. It's about what makes men choose to say I do or not to say I do to you.
Okay, I need to know that one. Can you just give a little bit answer on that?
There's a lot of different reasons. In the book, I focus a whole bunch on, from a man's perspective, how we perceive things that you as women do, things that you as women say, things that you as women think amongst yourselves may be really cool stuff, but amongst the guys, we won't say it to your face, but we don't think it's really cool. There's lots of little habits that women have and little things that women do that will make a guy say, I love this chick. She's cool. I love to spend more time with her, but I don't see myself giving her my last name. See, in relationships, what women don't realize is no matter how much you think you want to control the relationship, or how much you think you want to dominate the relationship, or how much control you want over the relationship, the one factor that you have no real control of is the moment he gets on his knee to ask you for your hand in marriage. See, women have to get off the, I'm the best thing since sliced bread mentality and realize there's a man standing before you that you have to convince that of all the other women walking around with the same body parts that you're walking around with, that you're the one that he should stop and be with for the rest of his life. Consider the fact when you ask somebody to marry you, you're basically saying as a man, I am taking myself off the market for other women. I am basically saying to you, I am going to spend the rest of my human existence with you, solely with you, dealing with you. That is a tall order. Women grow up with this fantasy of, from the moment you guys are born, they're teaching you motherly things, from your baby dolls, babies raising babies. You're changing babies while somebody's changing you. You're learning maternal instincts from day one. You're learning relationship goals from day 2. Because as soon as you get rid of that baby doll, you go and get you a Barbie doll. Now, Barbie got life goals. Barbie's got a car. Barbie's got a dream house. Barbie's got a fine guy named Ken. These things prepare young women for what it is they are to expect later on in life. See, in reverse, boys don't get the same conversation. The reason there's a disconnect in relationships with grown people is because we're raised on 2 different doctrines. Young boys are taught just the opposite. We're too busy playing King of the Hill and pulling wings off of flies and catching lizards and beating each other up and playing football and basketball and roughhousing. There's no interaction, right? And being strong. There's no interaction at all with females in this, and nobody tells us the same things that they tell you. They tell you, oh, you're a princess, and there's going to be a knight in shining armor that's going to rescue you. You guys have got the most elaborately sexy, dope stories about how dope it's supposed to be for when you grow up. Well, the problem is nobody tells the boys that that's what they're supposed to be or that's what they're supposed to do. We're getting two different stories here. So when we grow up, there's a huge disconnected expectation because we're not told the things that you've been made to expect over the years. We stumble through it. It's up to the woman sometimes to show the guy that I am the one. And right now in 2018, we got more women that want to be the one to the point that they're not showing the man that they're the one. They're too busy telling the world they're the one. You know, that's great if that's how you feel about you, but it really matters more about how he feels about you. And I think we live in a world and a time where people are too concerned with everybody else's opinion and not the opinion of the man that's standing before them.
So I have a question. You came up with some really, I'm going to definitely be buying you, but this is awesome. When it comes to women, what are some of the things that you see that we do wrong when it comes to not pursuing the man, but, you know, pursuing the world, letting them know that, hey, I'm advertising myself as the best thing that you ever have? What are some of the things that you see that is the problem, and that is the problem. You just said the problem right there. There's a whole chapter in my book that's about perception versus projection. You know, the average person has a very high perception of themselves. The average person. There's not a lot of people walking around the earth kicking rocks saying, "Oh, I'm crap." Most people have a very high perception of themselves, which is okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with thinking high of yourself. But just because you think you're a king or a queen does not a king or queen make. You know what I'm saying? You can think you're the president of the United States. That does not make you the president of the United States. So there's nothing wrong with the thought process of thinking great about self, but it's what you're projecting. A lot of times you hear women say, I'll give you an example. I'm sure you've got girlfriends who when they lose their relationships, they've said all kind of things like, "Oh, he did this and he did that, and I gave him the best years of my life, and you know I did everything for him." You see, when women say things like "I did everything for him," what you're really saying is, "I did everything I thought was cool for him." You're not saying you did everything he wanted. Wow. You're saying you did everything you wanted. That doesn't necessarily mean it's what he wanted. See, women seem to think that, oh, well, if I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that, he should stay here. I tell them all the time, if you did the right things, he wouldn't be gone. So what you think might have been the right things for that relationship might not have been the right things for that relationship. A man will tell you early on the type of things he likes, the type of things he into, the type of things he wants. It's really up to you to decide what you want to do with that information. One thing about a guy is he's not going to tell you 3 or 4 times. He's not going to keep telling you. He's going to put it out there into the world. If it does not get a good response, he's going to stop putting it out there to the world, or at least to you, and he's going to share that information with somebody who can handle it. Like even when it comes down to sex, guys, it's 2018. Guys are very open when it comes down to sexual relationships throughout time. You know, you can find women. Yeah. I've seen it on Facebook every day. There's women online all the time. Well, why do guys always want sex? Why? Why you guys are more visual?
Don't you want to get to know?
Emotional.
That's all I'm saying. But women got to understand, guys are going to be guys. We don't want what you want. The problem with a lot of relationships is women want guys to be women. You know what I'm saying? You want men to think like you think. And the whole book is about perception and reality and how we think. You can't get a man to think your way. You can get him to understand your way of thinking, but you will never get him to think your way. What bothers a woman, what gets under a woman's skin is not necessarily going to get under a man's skin. What a woman desires in life is not necessarily what a man desires. I had a whole debate on Facebook the other day because someone was saying, well, why do men always want sex and then complain when a chick wants money? Because a chick wants money before he could ever get to the sex. That's the reality. Why is it even a negotiated? Let me tell you about money exchange. If I'm giving you money, I'm buying you things, I'm buying you purses, I'm paying your bills, I'm lacing you up. Do you honestly think that comes with no expectation? I mean, it's amazing to me that women can open their hands and say, gimme, 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 but then when a man says, well, hey, here's what I want. Oh, no. Yeah. You want sex.
It's a two-way.
About sex. Sex is a two-way street. It's an exchange. Sex is a mutual exchange of energy. It's not like when I go and buy you a Hermes purse, that's not a mutual exchange of energy. That's me making you happy. You know what I'm saying? That's him making you happy. That's not a mutual exchange of anything. But when it comes down to sex, it's a mutual exchange. But when you hear women speak of it, they speak of it like, oh, you know, I'm going to lay there and be in pain while you get off. And, you know, then we'll be even for the things that you did for me. That's not the way it is. Men don't want what women want. You're not going to find a whole bunch of men that says, take me out shopping. Buy me something. You know what I'm saying? That's a woman's way of thinking. And women seem to think that, this is 2018, not 17, 18. Times have changed.
Wow.
Guys are becoming very shrewd when it comes down to what they want and how to get it. We understand that in the dating process, we have to spend money on every chick we decide to court. I'm gonna court this chick, I gotta take her out, wine and dine. I'm gonna court this chick, I gotta take her out, wine. There's a lot of spending for what may or may not work out. Now she walks away from the situation when it don't work out and say, I wasted so much of my time, as if he wasn't wasting his too. The time is a mutual exchange as well. It's the one thing that you can't get back. So women, I had a whole debate where women were saying, well, what's wrong with me offering my time and my this and my that? Well, nothing's wrong with you offering that, but that other girl's offering her vagina with her time and her this and her that. And being that he's more interested in sex, what do you think makes what you offering more appealing than what she's offering? Then that woman becomes what you call a thought or a hoe or whatever she is over there, because she's doing what he wants and you're playing hard to get. See, so from a man's perspective, you're not the better woman. You're not the better woman. The better woman is the woman that's doing what he wants. And women got to understand that. This is not 1975 where you could dangle the carrot of vagina over people's head and they're going to care. Men know that there's like 19 to 20 women available per every man. Men know that. We've sat up for years and played this whole, the power of the P game to make y'all think that the P was valuable. It's not. We're the commodity, and we know that.
It's so easy.
We're the commodity, and we know that. You guys, if every man paired up with a woman and got married, there'd be a lot of single women out here. There's not enough men to go around, and we know it. So you can't dangle like you did 20, 30, 40 years ago. Oh, I'm the shit, he's the smell. Nobody's buying it anymore. Men know it. Men know they have options. And if you don't comply to the things that they're interested in, they're going to move on to an option that does. Now, you can call that woman whatever you want. That's why she's happily married and you're at home complaining about it. The problem with a lot of women is this mindset of I'm the shit. You can't tell me anything. I'm on that pedestal, and I have a whole chapter about pedestal mentality. There's nothing wrong with thinking highly of yourself. But you can't think so high of yourself that a person can't reach to you. It's like no man wants to keep reaching upward to you as if you're God, as if you're Jesus. You're a person. At some point, you have to get off the pedestal and walk alongside that man if you want that man to see you as a wife.
I have a question. You are definitely an expert. I think you should do seminars. But I have a question. Our differences, another thing is communication. How can women allow a man's communication skills to become more of a two-way street? What can we do to better our communications with men? Because we have different ways of communicating.
This is the easiest question you've asked, but it's going to be the hardest thing to do when I tell you what to do.
Oh, wow.
It sounds simple in concept. It sounds simple in concept, but we want the same things you want. We just don't ask for it. We want you to listen. See, women love to be heard. Throughout history, you always say, listen to me. You're not listening to me. Do you honestly think that you are the only person that wants to be heard? He wants to be heard, too. The difference is he's not going to do what you're doing. He's not going to whine about it. He's not going to beg you to listen. He's going to say it 1 or 2 times, and if you don't listen, he's going to start talking to somebody else. It's just that simple. Guys don't have the patience or the tolerance that women have. We're not the same. So, for communication is key. I talk about that in the book a lot as well. Without proper communication, your relationship is dead. And I don't care how long you've been in it. I don't care if you're dating. I don't care if you're married. When you lose proper communication, the relationship dies. A lot of reason communication dies is because people have selective hearing. You only hear the words that you want to hear. Now, women, y'all listening, y'all know what I'm saying. A man can say 20 words in a sentence. He can say 20 words in a sentence. There's certain keywords that when you hear those keywords, that's what you're going to react to. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like hearing about other women and somewhere in 20 words he mentions a woman's name, you're not going to hear the 19 words that explains why I'm mentioning this woman's name. You just hear the woman's name and immediately go in. Men get turned off by that. Men are very turned off by that. Men are very turned off by women who have that sort of loud, what I call ghetto mentality of when I'm mad, I'm going to get loud and shake my hands and clap when I'm talking. That is stop all that. Women, please stop. Just stop It's not attractive.
I don't agree with
men
that
don't
one.
like
We're on
it.
the same boat on that one.
Men
like
don't like it. It looks horrible in public. It's not a good look for you. And men, you're talking to a man like he's a child, where you're accenting every word with a hand clap. Men are grown-ups. You cannot raise a grown man. At the end of the day, it's about communication. But communication is a two-way street. Women want to be heard all the time, but men got things to say too. We just pick and choose our battles a little better. Give you an example. Man walks in from work. He can't sit down 5 minutes and take a leak before she starts telling him about her day. And most of the time, her day don't really be exciting to him. It's more exciting to her girlfriend. That's why you keep your girlfriend. You need people to gossip with. Girls love gossip. Well, guys don't. So, I don't want to be your girlfriend. I don't want to be the person that you whine about every little detail of what happened with Molly at the job today. I don't care. Give me the liner. Give me the cliff notes. You know what I'm saying? Give me the short version. Give me an amalgamation of the day, sum it up in 3 minutes, because my mind is not on listening to an hour of your bad day when I had 8 hours of my own. So it's like, communication is an issue where women have to know when to communicate. Like I tell women all the time, there is nothing you can't get out of a man if you ask him at the right time. Problem with y'all is y'all impatient. Y'all want it right now. He walked to the door. I want the trash taken out right now, Tom. No, it don't work like that. Let Tom get inside. Let Tom sit down. Take his shoes off. Why don't you get Tom some water while he's sitting there? Ask him how his day was. Let him talk a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let him, men want to talk. Ask a question. Let him open his mouth. Then after you see he's relaxed, then you could ask him to do what you want him to do in the nicest of ways, because you can't talk to grown men like they're children. We don't respond well to it. I think a lot of women have a habit of thinking, when I want something from you, I have to be forceful or aggressive. I don't want that from my woman. You know what I'm saying? I want kindness. I want love. I want understanding. But a lot of women, when they don't get it their way, they start raising their voices and stomping their feet as if that's going to make them move. All that's going to make them do is move to your girlfriend's house. And I'm just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Men get tired of all that. We don't communicate as well as women do with our pains and our griefs and our problems. Not with you, at least.
Because
we'll call
of the
our
early
friends up and mention it to them.
Growing up.
Yeah, there's a lot to do with how we were.
Yeah, because you guys were raised to be tough and don't cry. Yeah, I really believe that.
A lot of that's in my book, and that's that disconnect that I'm talking about. If I was told as a child that when you grow up, there's these women that's out there, they're waiting for a knight in shining armor to rescue them. Or when you grow up, there's these women out there that's waiting for a solid guy to come and be a part of their life and be a part of that Barbie Ken mentality that they grew up on. Well, while you was playing with Barbie and having your dream home and your life goals, I was playing with G.I. Joe and Action Jackson type stuff. All my action figures. Notice I say action figures because y'all have dolls. The same thing, except the difference between a doll and an action figure is what it does. A doll acts like a person. It can take upon the persona of a person. The action figure is a fighter. You look at any action figure out there, they rip muscles, rip abs, rip legs. Even the girl action figures are built just like the guy action figures. So you never look at them as a sexual, you never put G.I. Joe and G.I. Jane together and start making them kiss and stuff. It's gay. Now, it doesn't work. They're both muscular and manly
looking.
They're both different.
So
in the vein of being a boy, we were never really introduced to this utopian lifestyle that you guys are sold. You know what I'm saying? I think it's beautiful. Don't get me wrong. But I think as parents, that's where we make our first mistake. We don't tell the boys what we tell the girls. And the boys this is what the boys learn. Because, I grew up in a house full of boys. It was me and 3 of my brothers, and we had no sisters.
How many brothers?
We learned about, I have 3 brothers. I'm the second of 4. And what we learned about girls as young boys is you don't hit girls. And that's the lesson about girls for life. That's it. There's not a guy out there that won't tell you the same. The one thing you taught about girls is you don't hit them. You ain't told how to communicate with them, the difference between them and you, how to court them, what to do to try to get them to like you. We're not told any of that. And this is why when we walk up to you and say some seriously stupid stuff, and you turn to your girlfriend and say, "Is he crazy? He out his mind?" It's because we don't know
crazy line that you said.
I don't say anything.
Give me a crazy line that you said back in college.
I couldn't remember. I've been married 27 years. I ain't shocked
on
nobody in almost 2 decades.
That was your college sweetheart. That was your college sweetheart.
I don't even think we were saying the same things back in the 80s. I don't even remember what we were saying back then. But I've been popular. In my case, it's a little different because I've been popular most of my life. You know, I was a drum major in junior high school and high school, and in New Orleans, bands are very big, so it's a major thing. I went to very popular schools.
New Orleans.
And then I, pledged Q when I got to UNO. So, I've always kind of been popular, even before my acting career kicked off. So I never really had this big game. I'll be honest, my game was clumsy because, like I said, I wasn't taught. So I never had the spit game. I was kind of popular, so people would kind of talk to me, which made it easier for me because then I could just say, I'm going to talk to the chick that likes me. And here's another thing, ladies. Something that did happen when I was younger, to show you how guys think. If me and, say, 3 guys walked in a club, and, of course, you see girls travel in groups, too. You see 3 or 4 girls at the bar, whatever. The guys, this is how guys
Me too.
think. Guys are all together, and they're all saying, hey, man, you see them girls over at the bar? Well, I like the one with the big butt. Oh, well, I like the one with the big breast. Well, I like the light skin one. This is how guys are thinking as they look. Because guys are into what they see, what's physical. So we don't know that you're smart. We don't know that you got life goals. We just know what we see. So the first thing that's going to attract a guy is what's attractive to his eyes. So guys will look at a group of girls and literally decide, when we walk over there, I'm macking on the brown one, you're macking on the light one, you're macking on the chick with the big booty. So, of course, they ask me, well, Gary, which one do you like? And my answer has always been the same. I like the one that likes me. So I don't go over saying,
so you like the preacher. Oh, my goodness.
I like the one that likes me. But that's the way it is because but of course, my thing is I have no problem approaching a group of people, but I never approach one person like, hey, I'm coming to talk to you. I just talk to the room. And whoever gives me
what I'm saying is
energy.
They approach you. They're approaching you, though.
Yeah, I've been approached. Yes, I've been definitely approached. But I think that's the woman that I'm going to be attracted to is the one that's aggressive enough to say something to me because I'm not here to go for that one when she's not interested in me and waste my time talking to her. So I let the other guys do that. Y'all waste y'all time trying to figure out who's interested. And I'm going to sit back and wait till one walks over that's interested in me because I'll have an easier time getting the things that I want out the relationship. I ain't got to work as hard. Just being honest. Just being honest. I'm lazy. I'm just being honest.
So when you were approached, what were your thoughts? Is it okay for a woman to approach a man? Is it acceptable?
Oh, yes, indeed, it's okay. Guys like that. Guys like women that are aggressive and basically say what they want. Here's another fact that women don't want to openly admit but know it's true. You know within 5 minutes of meeting a dude whether or not you're going to drop your drawers for him. You do. You've already, you know as he walking up to you with the drink, you already know there's a high possibility that he could get it tonight. Where men and guys, if you're listening, this is for you. Where men make their mistake is talking. They talk. Yeah. That's where the mouth is the thing that ruins it. It messes up the P points, y'all. It messes up the P points. You about to get it. You don't know you about to get it, but you start talking what you thinking, you spitting that top flight game, and all of a sudden she just noting P points. It's like, man, well, that's dumb. I can't believe you said that.
That's true.
Exactly. He talked himself out the coochie. Just talk yourself right out. Just talk yourself right out of it. So guys, but this goes back to what I was saying earlier. We weren't taught what to do or what to say. So we come in there all Cro-Magnon on with it, like, hey, me caveman, give me ass. We don't know what to say. Now, some women respond to that. There's a group of women out there that be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? So, though that might not be the group of women that you immediately think about marrying, that's definitely the group of women that you immediately think about hanging with. So, it's hard to get to the good woman sometimes if there's a woman that's more promiscuous, that's willing to give him what he wants up top. So, it's hard to find that good, wholesome woman that's holding on to it for dear life because that's her goal. While you're holding on, there's somebody saying, here, take mine. And I'm sorry, that's what's more attractive to a man. See, just like women like to be wined down, you don't be no broke dude. I don't see women saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to go get a fried chef over at McDonald's. Everybody wants somebody that's got some money or got something going on so that they can feel comfortable and get things and be happy. But buying you things does not make him happy. It really doesn't. It's what you're going to do after he continues to do it that makes him happy. And I don't know why women have an issue with that. I don't understand why women say, oh, he wants sex. What, you think he wants to buy you stuff? Is that what you thought he signed on for? Oh, yeah, I just love just buying women random stuff. Hey, want me to buy you stuff? That sounds dumb as hell. But it's very self-serving to the female because it's beneficial to her. So understand, men know that trick. Men are like, I'm not going to keep whining and dining you when you don't want to go nowhere with this situation. Then it's like, well, why does it have to be about sex? Well, why does it have to be about shopping? Why does it have to be about dinner? You can cook. Why can't I just come to your house and you fix a meal? Why I always got to take you out somewhere? Because it's impressive, and women like to be impressed. Well, at some point, I'm going to want to be impressed, too. I think Biggie made a song called You Must Be Used to Me Spending and all this cheap whining and dining, but I'm effing you tonight. Now, I want you to think about the lyrics to that song. That's just how men feel.
It's interesting.
It's like, I don't have no problem with doing this for you, and I have no problem with doing that for you, but one of these nights, I'm not going home. You know what I'm saying? One of these nights, I'm going to lay here and I'm going to hit. And it's like, for women, it's like, it's a chore. No, it's not. Y'all enjoy sex just as much as men do. You just can't say it. It's, it makes you one way. If you speak about your being promiscuous, then people are going to say, oh, she's a slut, she's a whore, she's this, she's that. If a man is being promiscuous, then he's virile, he's manly. It's a horrible double standard. But I know many women who love sex just as much as men. That's just the way we're raised. But that's your value and virtue to that guy that wants to marry you. Nobody wants to marry the chick that had everybody in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So if that's, if you're the fast chick that's out there that enjoyed the whole neighborhood, and I grew up with a couple of girls like that everybody in the neighborhood hit it. That was like what we call those girls, experimental, coochie. It's kind of like you hit this.
I like that one.
You practice. Yeah, experimental, because you got to, this is how you get your practice on before you go meet the real woman. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to teach you how to get the hips right, how to get the moves right, get your oral together. That's what these girls are for. There's a whole group of girls out there. Their whole job is to get you ready for your wife. I'm going to teach you how to be freaky. I'm going to teach you all that stuff because I'm into all that. I'm loose with mine. So I know you ain't going to marry me, but I promise you the chick you marry going to be happy that we met. And I'm telling you that women get mad at them kind of women, but it's those women that got that man with that stroke game that you like. He didn't just learn that by osmosis. G.I. Joe surely didn't teach him. You know what I'm saying? He learned that from the chicks that was easy in the neighborhood. So we like those chicks. We just won't marry those chicks. So there's a fine line between being someone that's willing to give in physically and emotionally and sexually without doing it so much to the point that he sees no value in you. So I think a lot of reasons women hold back is because they fear that if I give him too much, he might, it might be all he wants. Well, I'm not going to say it's all he wants, but it's definitely initially what's going to keep him there and keep him around so he can get to know all that other stuff that you want him to know about you. I love women say that on social media. It is a good thing.
That's a good thing that a man wants you, though. If a man wants you, that's a sign that he wants you. Isn't that a great thing?
You see, but women got to accept the fact that when a man wants you, it's more than just your mind and soul. He also wants your body.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And women don't like that part. But that's part of it. Yes, and see, Kimmie, you're looking at it the right way. It is a beautiful thing. Who doesn't want someone to be physically attracted to them? You want somebody to be physically attracted to you. You want them to say, this is me. Now, I want you to bear in mind what you're asking of a man when you're asking a man to marry you. You're basically saying to this man, hey, bro, I'm going to need you to eat the same meal 3 times a day for the rest of your life. You're getting this. Rest of your days. This is all you're getting. So if you like steak, you about to eat steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday to Friday, Saturdays and Sundays. And this is going to happen for the rest of your life. Now, what about the person who likes a little chicken, a little jambalaya, some red beans and rice? Yeah, I'd love to have a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean I want a hamburger every day. That don't mean I want a shrimp every day. But I like to change up every now and then. Well, the problem with marriage and serious relationships is you can't change up every now and then. This is your shrimp. This is your eggs and pork chops. This is all that. So what women have to understand is you can't become complacent once you got the guy. This is what happens with relationships and where they go wrong. Women do all the right things to get the dude interested. She do all the right things to get him on his knee. But then once she got him on his knee, it becomes water roses because there's nothing else to look forward to. Think about it from childhood. You had a Barbie dream house. What came after that? Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. And you made a good point.
After you got that, there's nothing left to look for.
Yeah. Because I see that all the time. Yes, because I see it all the time when people say, what happened to marriages? And I really believe when people don't continue on dating and really exploring more new things in their marriages, that's why they fail. Because I really believe, I'm going to give you Kimmie and Michelle, but Nikki comes after marriage. Nikki bad is a bad girl. So my point
right,
is,
you have to be every woman. You have to be.
Yes.
Women out there understand this clearly. You have to be every woman. You have to be the woman he married. You have to be the woman he wants to have sneaky fun with. You have to be his side chick. You have to be his girlfriend.
Yep.
You have to be all these people so that these people don't manifest themselves in real flesh. So, okay, today, if we do the routine missionary every week, then on Friday, let's flip it up. I'm going to hang off the chandelier today. Today, I'm going to put on a wig and be somebody else for you. I'm going to play fantasy for you because I don't want you to be with somebody else. So I'm going to be that somebody else for you because you got to understand, men like a little variety. Men like to hunt. We're natural hunters. That's what we do. You're basically telling the hunter, hey, man, I'm not at 24, 25 years old, I want you to chuck your spear into the ground and stop hunting forever. Now, that's all I know how to do is hunt. You basically telling somebody the one thing you know how to do, stop doing it because you got me. Well, you better be somebody I could throw this spear at from time to time for fun just to keep it exciting. See, another thing, don't get complacent in your relationships. Don't get boring.
It's
you know,
you
got to remember what it took. And remember what you did to get the person. This goes for men and women. You have to remember what you did to get that person. And I think what happens in relationships is people get comfortable and complacent. If you got with a person and you looked a certain way, keep in mind, men like what's physical and what's attractive physically. If you looked a certain way, be that thick, be that short, be that tall, whatever your look was that made him like you, you can't alter that too much in the future. Now, granted, just like a car, there's wear and tear over the years. You get older, things are going to change. So you are going to gain some weight. Your hair is going to gray. You're going to thin. Your hair is going to thin. Your skin's going to wrinkle a little bit. These things are going to happen, but you still have the responsibility for maintaining that aging you as much as you can to keep that person's attention. And that goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? When the wife, if I'm married, I've seen you before, Kimmie. You got a nice figure, slim girl, nice figure. If a guy meets you and says, oh, I love this girl, she's so sexy, she's so this, and he's into you, and he's showing you off to his friends, and he's proud of what he has. And then you get married, and 5 years in, you start looking like a butterball turkey. That's not what he signed on for. See, but that's what I'm saying. He didn't sign on for that. So he's going to then say, I still love her heart. I still love her spirit. I still love her soul. But I'm not physically attracted to her anymore. And that's where women don't want to hear that. But, if you want that man to look at you and only you, then you have to be something that he wants to look at. You can't just assume because you got his last name and we signed some papers that's just going to work out for itself. Nah, he didn't sign papers with a chick that was 240. He signed a chick that he was 140. That's not to say he don't expect you to gain weight, but not to the point that it's embarrassing to him and his vision of what he sees in his relationship. Now, mind you, big girl, no problem with you. We live in an obese society in America. There's tons. If you look around, we can't crack no jokes about big women because if you look around, most of the big women are the ones that's married. They're the ones married. You look at all these fine, slim girls walking around here single like a mofo. You ask yourself why. You know what I'm saying? What is this big girl doing so much that's got this dude at home while slim girl over here is looking like, she's still holding up the walls in the club?
You just said it.
Because she hasn't gotten past the fact that she's dope. These other women have moved on and realized I'm dope. I'm dope. I already know I'm dope. I can go about getting my life on now. I don't have to keep looking for attention. And, that's why you see a lot of bigger women with husbands because they know how to treat men. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the big girls because y'all really do know how to treat men. You keep them eating. You keep them happy. You don't mind sleeping with them. So a lot of these, thinner girls be so cute and so into themselves. Like I used to date a chick one time. She used to say, I put all this cute shit on for me. I do my hair for me. Everything was for me, which I thought was cool because you should do things for yourself. It shouldn't always be to impress other people. But when you hear somebody say every little detail of what they do is for them, you start to realize there's not enough room in that relationship for us.
For you.
It's a very me-like relationship. There's no room for us or we. It's to me and I. So a guy will get turned off by that in a heartbeat. And women got to understand your vanity and your, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm that, oh, I'm this shit, that's impressive to you. He can find a chick that's just as dope as you with a better attitude. Because guys don't like all that, the nasty attitude of thinking that, your stuff don't stink. It does. You can smell it from over here. Yeah, that's you. You know what I'm saying? That's you right there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get off that pedestal mentality, man. If you want a man, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping shit.
You do keep it 100.
Yeah, I just gotta keep it real because at the end of the day, I want to see women win and I want to see women happy.
Yes.
But part of the reason you ain't happy is you. The part of the reason of your unhappiness is you and your thinking. The whole reason why I wrote #Why He Won't Marry You is so that we could change the way you perceive men. Because a lot of women come from a thought process of, I'm going to use my logic in his head. Your logic don't apply in his head. Your logic is mostly based on emotional stuff and feelings.
Yes.
His logic is based upon logical stuff and logic. This is why you can't argue. Like I tell men all the time, don't waste time arguing with your old lady about emotional stuff. You can't really argue emotions because emotional feelings change and vary depending on the person and the experience. But logic never changes. 2 plus 2 is going to be 4 no matter where you stand. You know what I'm saying? This is why men like arguing logic, because with logic comes fact. With emotions come, feelings and spidey senses. Like, all y'all really think that y'all think because y'all got vaginas that y'all know stuff. We all psychic friends. Y'all all come from Psychic Friends Network. It's like, I could feel it. I could feel it in my bones. He's cheating. You could feel it in your bones that he's cheating because you knew you got with a cheater. That wasn't some mystical, magical feeling. You knew what you signed on for when you signed on. But women can't just accept that it's some things are just natural and in your face. It has to be some spidey sense that I have. It has to be some, as y'all call it, women's intuition. Yeah, it's y'all all.
Is it always true though? Is it always true?
Y'all all could have been cops or detectives because y'all think y'all know everything. So it's kind of like, y'all all missed y'all calling. Y'all all missed your detective job because man can't walk in the door without being suspicious of something. The word man in and of itself just means guilty of. That's man in Latin means guilty of. You know what I'm saying? It's like you walk in the door.
But Gary,
he did something.
But is that true though? Do our intuition, do they sometimes be true?
Well, I think all intuition is based upon a feeling of something that you're gathering, but it's not just from intuition; it's from observation. Women can tell when a man's patterns change. If your guy comes home every night at 5:30, kicks his shoes off and eat dinner, it's a pattern. And the minute he changes that pattern, your intuition is gonna kick in because he's not doing what he normally does. Man breaks his routine, women starts to snoop. Then women start doing stupid stuff like taking your finger and putting it on your cell phone while you're sleeping so they can look at who you're talking to. Women, stop all that. If a man is doing something behind your back, it's like God says in the Bible, whatever goes on in the dark will eventually come to light. But that don't mean seek it out because when you seek out problems, you usually run into more than what you was looking for. So let the problem manifest itself and show itself to you. Stop treating grown men like they're your children that you can go through their things. I've been married for 27 years. And let me be real with you. There's even in marriage, there's still privacy. There's a misconception that when you marry somebody, you have 100% all access pass to their life, and that's not necessarily true. When I was raised, my mother and father were married for 54 years before my mother passed on Mother's Day 2015. There was till death do they part. That's the example that I saw, so that's the example that I lead by. So, I didn't see anything any different. I saw them go through trials and tribulations. I saw them go through great times and bad times, but the relationship survived all storms because it was a real relationship. I think right now we're in a time where people give up so easily when things don't go their way. They give up on their jobs. They give up on their lives. They give up on everything when things don't go their way. And the first thing you got to understand about marriage is it's one of those things. It's a marathon. It's not a 40-yard dash. You have to be in it for the long haul. What might be cool to you at 20 might not be cool to you at 40. But you got to find a way to still coexist. People grow and they also grow apart. We might have been cool as shit at 20 years old, but when you turn 50 years old, what's interesting to me might not be interesting to you anymore. So people have to sort of, it's like riding on a ship. You got to ride the waves and accept the changes that go along with your mate and constantly readjust and reinvent yourself to keep things interesting for one another. It's a two-way street. I think a lot of times people just get too comfortable and too complacent once they get it, and that's why it falls apart.
They stay there. And you just said something that was very profound. It's important that you are open-minded, you're adapting to changes, and you're always learning about that person because you will never know everything about your spouse. And that
never. And you can't go through things. You can't. Let me say this for the ladies too. I'll use myself and my father for an example. My father taught me at a very young age, certain things you just don't do when it comes to women. And one of those things is you don't go through their things. My father taught me you don't go through your women's things. Like, I give you an example. Since I was a child, if my mom was sitting in the room and say her purse was in the next room and she needed something from it, she'd say, hey, Abe, give me my checkbook out the purse. I watched my dad do it. He would walk in the other room, grab my mama's purse, and bring it to her. He would not go through the purse to look for the checkbook, even though he was instructed to do so. He would just bring her purse. So I saw that growing up, and that became the same way that my marriage became. To this day, my wife can say to me, I left my wallet on the bed or whatever. I needed such and such card out of it. I will bring her the whole wallet. I don't go through her things. And consequently, I expect the same. Don't go through mine. There's still a level of privacy that comes in a relationship. Don't go through my wallet. Don't go through my cell phone. My wife has a cell phone. I don't go through her cell phone. If she got friends or people she's communicating with, that's her friends and her people she's communicating with. As long as it's not affecting my relationship with her, it's not my business. We have two different lives. I don't hang out with her friends. She don't hang out with my friends. People seem to think when you get married, you got to, now it's like church folk. It's like, well, now I go to church, so I can't have these kind of friends or those kind of friends. You can still have all these friends. It doesn't change who you are or how you move. But in marriage, people say, well, you're married. You can only have married friends because you can't be around your single friends because they're going to make you do this or make you do that. They can't make you do anything. We make choices every day. As grown-ups, we make choices every single day. And you can't say, because I was hanging out with my single friends, I made a bad choice to act single. You can still be married while with your single friend. So if you're making those kind of choices, that's just who you are. And you can't make it look like, I was with my girls, and then one thing led to another. It's like, well, when you with your girls, that's just how you get down. But this goes back to what I was saying before. There has to be a certain level of privacy even inside of a marriage. Women seem to think that because I'm married to you, I should be able to. There's another post I saw on Facebook. So, ladies, do you think that if your guy has his phone locked, should you have the passcode? That's the dumbest crap I've ever heard in my life. Whatever happened to we are grown people? Your child goes to school every day with stuff in his bag and things that he done wrote to people that you will never see in your life. You know what I'm saying? This is your child. But yet your grown man has to be scrutinized, and everything he talks to and all his conversations have to be read. That's a sign of insecurity. Whether you like it or not,
there's no level of trust either. If I had to go through your phone, what's the point of me? What's the point of me being together?
When it gets to the point that you feel you have to do those kind of things, then you're looking for an out.
No trust.
Let's be real. You're not going through his phone looking. You're not going through his phone looking for confidence. You're going through his phone looking for an out. You're already starting to feel that things are messed up, and now you're looking for a justification thereof. But instead of here's a tidbit for the lady. Women need to spend less time worrying about the other woman and spend more time worrying about what they're doing that's making him see the other woman. See, women don't want to ever self-assess. A lot of my book is about self-assessment. It's very easy to point the finger and say, that woman over there is doing me wrong. She's not doing you wrong. She's trying to get what you're trying to get, except the difference between her getting it and you getting it is she's serious about it. You expect it to just come to you because you're, I'm the bomb. So it's just supposed to come to me. Well, she knows she's the bomb too, but she's willing to put forth a little more effort to get his attention. You got his attention. But you can't keep it. She's keeping his attention, but she ain't got it.
So you gave me another question. So let's say, for instance, you're with this one guy. He does like you, but, he's not as aggressive as you are because he's more of a laid-back like you yourself. So you think it's okay for a woman to give that man more attention than he gives her?
Of course it is. Guys, whether women want to believe it or not, guys like attention too. We don't speak on it like you do, but we like attention. It's the attention that's gonna make. Let's face it. If you're giving him attention, and it ain't really a marriage or anything yet, he's probably getting attention from a few other people too. But the one that's gonna keep his attention is the one that consistently gives it. Women have to be a little bit more aggressive. You want this guy to ask you to marry him. So what separates you from the other two girls that's giving him some? Nothing. The only thing that separates you is how you treat him and your aggression and how you try. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean in a mean way, but just a little bit more forthcoming in what you want and what your desires are, and how many things that he wants that's in tune with what you want. Like for example, if you have a sexual attraction to the guy, and you have a sexual attraction to the guy, why are you fighting it? Why? Because at the end of the day, he likes that kind of stuff. And if you don't do it, trust me, read the book. In the book, I tell a story, because I talk about myself a lot in the book, too. And I tell a story about how me and my wife wound up sleeping together the first time. Because it was the same kind of situation. She was doing the hard to get, I'm not ready, 90-day rule thing. And, you know, you have to read it in the book for the long version details. But it's short.
I gotta read that one. I love that.
In short, I just basically got on the phone and called somebody else and put out my room and called somebody else. And when she confronted me about it, it was just like and this was my exact words. I said, you know, I understand and I respect the fact that you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? I totally understand. I ain't gonna force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. But we've been dating for a few months now, and I am ready. So I'm not gonna pressure you to do nothing, but that's not gonna stop me from doing something. We don't have a sexual relationship, so I don't feel like I'm cheating on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm emotionally attached to you. I have no physical relationship with you at all. I want to have sex. You don't want to have sex. Well, that girl over there wants to have sex, and I would like to have sex with her. So today is my lucky day. Me and you don't have to be together today. I'm going to go ahead and be with her. And that's wound up being the first day we slept together, because that's the day she realized Gary going to do Gary. Ain't nobody going to control Gary's penis. See, I love how women say that's my D. No, it's mine. It's attached to me. You know what I'm saying? Just like women tell that lie to men all the time. Oh, this is you, this yours, this yours. This is whoever's in it. I've been here before. You know, you will tell me that. You will tell him that. Whoever. You're not going to have Tom in it and saying, oh, this is Derek. This is Derek. Nobody's going to do that. So at the end of the day, it's no different with men. You know what I'm saying? Except the difference is I was very frank about it. I want to get some today, and if you don't want to give me none, I respect that. But that's not going to control my penis. I'm going to do what I want to do with my penis. I gave you the option of taking it. You didn't want it. Well, it's on the market now. So don't be mad at me. Don't be mad, Twan. Gary got to do what Gary got to do. I was honest with you about what I wanted. You was honest with me about where you stood. Do you think because you don't want to have sex, suddenly my dick stops working? Not how it goes. Not how it goes.
So,
it just means I can't have sex with you.
So I like that because you are upfront and honest. Unfortunately, we are in the time where you do have men who aren't as upfront and honest like you are. So that is another issue that we are facing with men. So why is that such a hard task to find?
Because, okay, I can answer that one too. That has a lot to do with the way you respond to information. I'm sure at some point that man made a small attempt at being honest, and it probably didn't go over well. You know what I'm saying? His one. Go back in the history of all your relationships, ladies. Go back in the history of all your relationships. And somewhere early on, that man made a mistake, and he approached you to try to tell you about it. Your reaction to that mistake probably made him feel like, I will never, ever tell on myself again. Now, that's not to say I'm not going to do nothing wrong again. It's just to say I'm not going to share it with you. Because I'm a man. I'm going to do things wrong. I'm going to make mistakes. You got to know that going in. He's a dude. He's going to make mistakes. But, you know, once he makes that mistake, like even in my book, I talk about affairs that I've had. I haven't been the best husband in the world. You know what I'm saying? Don't please, by no means think that I'm sitting here saying I am the best husband. You know, no, I've made human being error and, you know, manly mistakes at various points in my marriage. And I speak about that in the book as well. So it's not a book that's just about bashing women or telling women how things should be. I speak a lot about how some of the things that I talk about that women do affected even my relationship. You can get a man's attention whether he's married or not. You can get a man's attention whether he's single or not. You just have to know what to do to get it and then what to do to keep it. And those are the kind of things I talk about in the book. But communication is a lot of what you talk about to be the problem. Men don't feel as comfortable communicating their issues to women because women don't receive the information. Well, I've been in many friendships and I've been in many relationships over my lifetime where I'm trying to tell you a truth that's harsh or hard for me to tell. And either later on that truth is going to be thrown back in my face on a regular basis, or you're not going to accept that truth when I tell it to you. So it makes men pause in telling the truth. And even when we amongst ourselves, men will say to each other when they're amongst ourselves, dude, lie. Dude, just lie to it. Don't be honest, man. Don't tell, because it is not that we want to lie.
You guys have a club in that house.
Yes, we do, because we want to protect each other from the wrath of you. At the end of the day, we just want to walk in the house without getting a pot thrown at us. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I made a mistake, but damn, I got to be on the couch for a month. Yeah, so right, we don't want them hot grits, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, you got to be very mindful of what you tell a woman and her feelings, you know what I'm saying? Like they say, a woman scores. You scoring a woman, you can get some hot grits thrown on you, bro. So, men have to be mindful of that. And another thing women don't understand, men lie to you because they love you. Men lie to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings. Now, women would say, well, I'd rather have the truth. No.
You don't.
You would not.
No, we don't.
No, you don't. I want you to go back in the history of the word truth and tell me how many times truth has ever been connected to anything positive. It sounds like a positive word, don't it? When you listen to it, I want the truth. The truth sounds like such a revealingly cool thing, but 90% of the time, the truth comes with things you just don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? That's the funniest thing about the word truth. That's the funniest thing about the word truth. Truth sounds so enlightening until you actually use it. Let's just try it in a sentence. When you go to jail, they put your hand on the Bible. They say you need you to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth will help you God. They even throw God in it like it's going to make you feel guilty about the lie you about to tell. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've sat in a court before, and I've had to put my hand on the Bible, and they've asked me to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth will help me God. Right then I said to God, I'm about to lie to these people because I don't want to go to jail, right? Now, that's between me and you. Me and you will work that out later. Dealing with man and dealing with God is two different things. You're not going to dangle God over me. God don't want me in jail. You know what I'm saying? That's not what God wants for me. So by inserting God in the sentence, you think that's going to suddenly make me speak more truth? I'm going to tell the truth that's going to keep me free.
Amen.
And that's the truth. I mean, and that is the truth. You know what I'm saying? People think if I throw God in there, it's going to make you feel guilty, like God sitting there saying, yeah, Gary, you're going to do 20 years. No, I'm not, Father. No, I'm not, because that's not what you want from me. So I'm going to take this tongue that you gave me, and I'm going to tell the truth that I need to tell to get these people to not do what they're about to do to me. I mean, you can sort that out later. I'm sure you don't mind me lying to man. Man lies to me all the time. So it's like,
yes,
but this all comes down to truth.
They lie about the history. They have lied since day one. Come on now.
Oh, since day one. We want to be more honest, ladies. We do. We really do want to be more honest, but we're not as comfortable. We're not as comfortable speaking our truth as you are. We're not as, we weren't taught as young boys to feel open enough to share the things that we're thinking. There's a lot of men like me. I'm a pretty open guy. I'm a pretty sensitive guy, but there's not a lot of guys like me that are going to be, straightforward with their feeling or honest about, because I'm complimentary. I'll say nice things to you too. It's not always about, give me some. I have no problem with being complimentary and encouraging and all of those things. And a lot of guys just aren't like that. Guys aren't, as easily, like I watched this show, The Middle, and the guy that's the lead guy in the middle is like, he don't really like the hug. He don't really say I love you much. Guys are just kind of raised to not be affectionate. So this is where you come in, ladies. Yeah. You have to teach him those tools, those skill sets. You have to give him those tools to work with. And, women don't give themselves enough credit. You're nurturing. You were taught to be nurturing from day one. Use those skills to get this man to see you as the one. See, that's the thing that women got to understand. I hear women say all the time, well, you know what? He messing with such and such. She could have him because I ain't competing. Hate to tell you, but you are. I hate to tell you, but you are. Get that mentality out your mind. You competing just as much as he is. Just like you see somebody you like and he tickles your fancy, there's 30 other women who see him the same way. You know what I'm saying? If you find somebody attractive, just know from that moment on, if your eyes thought he was attractive, then somebody else's eyes thinks he's attractive. So what are you going to do to make his eyes focus on your attraction to him versus her attraction to him? Women spend too much time worrying about the other woman. Worry about yourself. Stop saying, why? What's she doing? Don't worry about what she's doing. Do the best that you could do, and trust me, in time she will be eliminated. Women want it to happen overnight, though. I want you to see me, know my worth, know my value from 2 minutes of a conversation, and give up everything else that you've been doing. Well, it's going to take me a little bit of time to know your worth and to know your value. But right now, your looks definitely got my attention. And women don't want to hear that. Why it's got to be about my looks? Because I got eyes. That's why it's got to be about your looks.
You guys are more looking.
Right,
your logic. You guys
are about that.
That's the logical. Right.
That's a lot. Look at any sitcom on TV right now. You guys, I don't care what show you watch, predominantly white shows particularly. Watch predominantly white shows. If you look at the couples on these shows, the women are always nice size, nice shape, pretty, still got it together. The guys all got pot bellies and balding. The guys are falling apart. You know what I'm saying?
That.
So, look at all the TV shows that's on. You know what I'm saying? The guys are always falling apart, but they're happily married. You know why? because women see more than what's physical. Guys see what's physical. You know what I'm saying? Even on these sitcoms, he can get, Jim Belushi can get fat as hell, but his wife still looks good. Now, they both eating the same food at the same house, you know what I'm saying? Going out doing the same things, but it's okay. Women can accept a man falling apart. She can accept the fact that his looks are going to change, they're going to alter, because she truly loves him to the core. Well, with men, it's a little bit different. We love you to the core,
that's true.
but we still got to walk around and show you off to our friends in public. So, how you represent us in image is important. You know what I'm saying? Men are very important. A lot of, even in business, a lot of what moves men in business is when they show up to these business meetings and everybody's got their wives or significant others. They look at each other's wives and significant others to sort of gauge what kind of person they're dealing with. The wife represents this man in a lot more ways than just, we're at home and being intimate. In public, it's like the president and the first lady. You become the representative of this whole family. And how you act, how you carry yourself. Like I know a lot of women that, they go out and they drink too much when they're out in public, so they start over-talking themselves, and they embarrass their men. Men don't like to be embarrassed by you. So those are the kind of things you have to be mindful of if you want a man to marry you. There's tons of people out there that will date you until the end of time. Understand that men are very happy with the current situation being the way it is. You never hear a man say, how many relationships have you been in where you heard a man say, so where is this going? You just don't hear that. You know what I'm saying? That's not a thing guys care about. Guys don't care where it's going. It's cool the way it is. Ask Stedman. It's cool the way it is. Now, he's been dating Oprah.
We bring that question in. Right, we addressed that question, not you guys. Yeah,
but that's a question that women care about. Women look at things with time. Like, they got timelines and biological clocks. Guys don't have these problems. I actually got a chapter called, it's your biological clock. It's not his problem. You know what I'm saying? Women tend to put, I have set goals. I have to have this done by this time. I have to have my kids by this time. I have to finish college by that time. Well, guys don't work like that. Guys fly by the seat of their pants. So if you meet a guy, say you're 35 years old, and you meet a guy, and at this point you never had kids, somewhere in the back of your mind you're thinking, I got to have kids. I'm almost 40. This is something, I've missed that thing. I got to get that going. So now you meet Joe Blow, new dude. He don't know you from Adam. He's just starting out the relationship, just trying to get to know you, but you got that pressure of that biological clock saying, I got to have a baby. So this dude now becomes the sperm donor, and he don't even know it yet. He's just like, why are you talking about babies all the time? How many times you have been out with your girlfriends and they were talking about, yeah, girl, I want to have a child or whatever. When she shares that conversation with some dude she ain't knew for 6 months, he is running. He is flying out of there. It's like, okay, I ain't ready for all that. I'm just trying to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? But you're on your biological clock. And I don't understand it's a biological clock. From where I stand, I just see a desperate chick that's trying to have a baby and then trap it. You know what I'm saying? That's how guys see it. So a lot of what my book is about is how when you guys make a move, how it looks to us. Because just because you made a move that had one intention don't mean that it's translating that way to the gentleman. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's like a lot of my book is about how we perceive your moves. You might think, well, this move was made so that I could position myself to get this. Well, he might have looked at that move like, okay, this chick trying to trap me with a baby. I got to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about perception versus projection. There's a perception of what you're. Like I tell women all the time, too, you think you're putting out this great energy. You think you're showing all this love, but that's not translating to him. That's why he's not receiving it well. But later on, when you play it back with your girlfriends, he's tripping. I gave him everything. I did everything for him. Stop saying that. You did everything you felt like doing. You did everything you were capable of. It doesn't necessarily mean it was everything for him. Did he ask for that? Why don't you go over the list of things that he asked you to do? Because he told you the kind of stuff he wanted. Like I tell girls all the time, it's the 21st century. Sex is a whole bunch more fluid now than it used to be. People are more open about their sexuality. You got gay people getting married. You got transgenders walking around using females' bathroom. It's a different time. People are very much more open about the things they're interested in. A person, might have all kind of little sexual quirks. I like choking people. I like tying people up. Not me per se, but it might be somebody's thing. If you're not the type of chick that's in the bondage and dominance, then that's not the guy for you. You know what I'm saying? You can't make somebody what you want him to be. He's telling you who he is. There's people that's in the S&M and things like that. So he needs somebody who's more into that. That's not really for you. Now, I don't care how much you like that guy. You got to know that guy's not for you. Unless you feel like having a red ball in your mouth and a mask over your face, he's not for you. So don't try to change who he is. Let him be who he is and find somebody that's more for you. Another thing, women tend to say, I want a good guy. I want a wholesome man. I want a Christian man. I want all of these things that sound like it would last forever. But then when you get it, what you're really saying to yourself is, I am bored out of my mind. This guy provides no excitement. Women can say whatever they want to say about how they view relationships, but one thing is painfully obvious. Women need to be in their feelings. I don't care if it's a good feeling, a bad feeling. There has to be a feeling generated to feel like there's life to this relationship. I say all the time, look at the pattern of women. They say they want good men. They end up with a bunch of bad boys that stress them out. Women ain't happy unless they're on the phone telling their girlfriend, oh, this dude got me wanting to pull my hair out. He makes me so sick, but I love him. This is the problem with women. Wow. They want to be emotional. They want to be in a situation where their emotions are constantly on edge. Women like that. Women, whether it's good or bad, they just like the feeling of attention and of involvement. Because once you get into these emotional things, you now are on this person for hours. This becomes hours of your day. If not talking to them or about them or at them, you're talking about them to someone else. Women like that kind of stuff, whether they admit it or not. You get with a good guy.
I do.
Guy treats you the way you want to be treated. Guy opens the doors for you. Guy never raises his voice. Guy complies every time you ask him to do something. At some point, you're calling your girlfriends up like, oh, my God, he's the nicest guy in the world, but he is so boring. He is so boring. He don't never get mad about nothing, girl. And then women start doing stuff to try to get a rise out the man. I'm gonna go in there and do something. I'm gonna go say something real stupid to see if he get mad. It's like, man, there's nothing I do makes him mad. So then women start to figure, okay, well, he's not giving me nothing. So now I got to be mad about that because he's not giving me no emotion, he must not care about me. Y'all got to stop overthinking everything. Men are not that complicated. We're really not. We don't spend half the time thinking of none of the stuff y'all think about. Women come to me all the time. Well, you probably was thinking, boo, let me give you a rule of thumb. If you're thinking it, chances are he's thinking exactly the opposite. This is what I was saying before, that women have got to get out of the mindset that men think like they do. We do not think like you do. So if you thought it, chances are he didn't. Now, I don't care how logical it sounds to you in your thinking. His mind and processing is probably not even on the subject you're on because he's not thinking like you're thinking. And I think a lot of my book is to focus women on accepting the fact that your thoughts are not his and you can't force your thoughts on him. Let him tell you his. Assess his once he tells you. Stop trying to read into what you think and your perception of how it is because this is how you would handle it. He's not you. I can promise you he wouldn't handle it that way. And there's nothing wrong with how he handles it. I think another problem with women in relationships is because they have a good mother gene and a good motherly instinct and they're good at raising things and taking care of things and growing things, they start to think that a grown person needs their hand held too. Just because we don't see things the same don't mean that my point of view is not also valid. There's nothing wrong with your point of view, and as a man, I can respect your point of view. As a man, what I'm asking of you is to also accept and respect mine. We don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree. But women are very unrealistic in believing that the way that they perceive things is the only possible scenario. There's other ways of seeing stuff. And I think relationships would do better in communication. If women would sometimes listen to a man's perception of the same situation, it goes back to communication all the time. If a woman would listen to a man's perception of the same situation, and instead of debating the fact that he thinks that way, accept the fact that he thinks that way, and then you'll start to get a better understanding of why we see things different. Women want everybody to see the things the same, and that means her way. Not that I'm going to see it your way, sir. I need you to see it my way. And that has got to change if you want your relationship to maintain. Guys will not tell you. They'll take it for a while, but then you'll start to notice they get distant. You'll start to notice they talk less. You'll start to notice they share less because you've now created an uncomfortable environment by which the only thoughts that fly are yours. And he has thoughts too. He has feelings too. Just because guys don't cry as much as women, just because guys don't whine about their problems as much as women, don't mean that they're not going through it. This is why you see dudes at the bar getting drunk all the time. That's the way guys handle it. I'm just going to go drink my problems away because I don't have a gossip circle of people I can call and whine about it to like women do. So we handle things a whole bunch different. We internalize a lot where you guys vocalize a lot. If If you have a problem, all your girlfriends know about it. If he has a problem, only his best friend knows about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just different the way we handle stuff. So I think if a woman wants to marry a man, then she has to remember no matter how dope you think you are, at some point he has to get on his knee and ask you. If you want to do this traditionally, you know, you have to do what you have to do to get him to do it. Sure.
I have another question before we leave. Okay, so I have been seeing a lot of women asking a man for her hand in marriage. Do you think it's okay, or do you think it's still traditional?
I think, well, you know, closed mouths don't get fed. You know, if we don't keep it real, closed mouths don't get fed. It's becoming commonplace.
Well,
but you know, but it goes back to being real. But it goes back to tradition in the sense that there's a lot of women who still want the traditional route. But then again, there's a lot of women who are just a little bit more fashion forward, a little bit more aggressive, and a lot of women that's willing to claim that which they want. Now, I watched it a couple of years ago. Chrissy did it to Jim Jones on national TV. She proposed, you know, to him. So I think in a time where women, you know, it's not like 1950s where a guy could go to work and take care of the whole household and a woman could stay home and be the mother and the housekeeper and all that. Women are independent nowadays. Women are doing the same things that guys are doing to make ends meet. And in most households, you need two incomes to survive in 2018. So if you can make all of these adjustments and changes, then there's nothing wrong with breaking tradition and asking that man to marry you. Now, how he responds to it is going to have a lot to do with how he was raised. You know what I'm saying? Every man's not going to respond to it the same way. You know, when a man gets on his knee and asks a woman for a hand in marriage, she's usually crying and excited. Oh, yes, I will. Sure, I do. All that. Guys are kind of confused. Like, did she just in front of it? Wow. You know what I'm saying?
I was just wondering.
Right, but it's not nothing wrong with it. But guys still aren't used to it. I wouldn't say don't try it, but just know that unlike girls who are sitting there waiting every day, and wonder if today's going to be the day he pops the question, guys are not waiting for you to pop the question. So when you pop it, don't be surprised if his reaction is not like your reaction would be. Kind of like Jim Jones was, like, oh, really? Yeah, we'll work that out. You know what I'm saying? Because right now he's processing the fact that he just got sunned by his old lady. You know, she just got honey. He just sunned him in front of everybody.
Wow.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I don't think you're going to.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get – I think what happens effectively by doing it is this is your way of telling the man that's what you want. Whether or not he's going to say I do immediately is probably slim to none because guys aren't used to being proposed to. We feel like, you know, of the dating process of things, that is the one thing we're supposed to do to make this relationship better than all the relationships prior to it. So it's and I think most women deep down inside, though they really want that man, they really want him to do it. I think the women who get aggressive and go out and do it themselves because they're just tired of waiting. But good things come to those who wait. And I think more than anything, I would definitely say this. Women, this is what you need to focus on. Don't focus on the other person. Focus on you. Focus on being a better you. Not just a better you to yourself, but a better you to your relationship. You know, stop worrying about outside things and focus on what you're doing on the inside to keep the person's attention. You know what I'm saying? It's not about outside forces. People walk out the door every day. Just like when you go outside, there's guys that's going to see you and want to talk to you and entertain you. It's a choice to decide to entertain people or not. But to assume that because you're in a relationship with somebody that nobody on earth is going to talk to them and nobody on earth is going to find them attractive, it's unrealistic.
Impossible.
And ladies, here's a reality that you might not want to hear either. Married guys and married women, it goes both ways. Married people are far more attracted to single people. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but that's the truth. Married people are far more attracted to single. I've been hit on more as a married man than I was ever hit on single because married shows that you have the propensity to commit. So when a person sees you have the propensity to commit, they just want to get that commitment for them. You know what I'm saying? Single people don't really have a propensity to commit. They haven't proved that yet. They just show that they can date. I can see people, last month I was talking to you, was talking to William. This month I'm talking to you, talking to Paul. You can date, but, you know, at what point do you commit? You know, and I think that, you know, we commit at different times in a relationship. Women know, like I said, you know early on what you want. It takes a guy a while to realize it. So women have to allow guys to move at their own pace. Don't expect a guy to move at your pace. And if he's not moving at your pace, please Please do not give this man an ultimatum. Women, I'm going to tell you that's the kiss of death. I'm going to leave you with that one. The ultimatum is a kiss of death. Women tend to think, if I put my foot down and say, you're going to do this or else. Well, let me tell you what that sounds like to a grown-ass man. That sounds like, okay, so when we're together married, every time she wants her way, if I don't do what she says, she's going to ultimatum me and threaten to leave. She's going to threaten to leave. You know, who wants to be in a situation where every time somebody's not getting their way, they're threatening to leave? At some point, he's going to say go. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to keep playing this game with you. Stop giving grown people ultimatums. In life, you have choices. You can't make him. You can't make him do what you want him to do, but you can choose to do what you want to do. The only person you can control is you in a relationship. The problem with relationships is people want to control each other. If you're not happy with things that's happening in a relationship that you can't control, you make adjustments to see if those things change. If after making adjustments, those things don't change and you still can't control it, you're not happy, then the one thing you can control is what you do with you. You can't control what he does with him or what she does with her. You can only control what you do with you. And I think when people start focusing more on their own personal happiness, because I'll say this too. Yes. In relationships, women look for a person to make them happy. Will and Jada Pinkett said it the best. The Smith said it the best. It is nobody's responsibility to make you happy. It's your responsibility to make yourself happy. You can't even be with somebody if you're an unhappy person because you can't present a good person to them. So you can't expect the person. You can't walk around putting the burden of your happiness on your mate. Your happiness belongs to you. You're supposed to make yourself happy, and they're supposed to enhance that happiness. It's not their job to make you happy, but it's their job to sort of enhance it and keep it flowing and keep the happiness going. But it's like if you're a naturally miserable person, don't sign me on to make you happy because I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to. It's too much work. Ain't no checking this job. I'm not doing it.
That's a lot of work.
So women,
and that's why I see why
women
there's so
got to realize nobody
broken
wants all
women.
that.
Right.
We don't want all that. And they give guys a hard time. And women, we don't want to hear, we don't want to spend our time with you hearing about your tragic last relationship. Obviously, if you keep talking about it, you're not over it. So most of us are going to walk away and let you go and finish dealing with that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're not over it. So when you get over stuff, then we can communicate. So, all this to say, I wrote a book that I think when women read it, they're going to get a clearer picture.
You're giving too much information. Where can we find
it?
I
have not given you much out the book at all. I'm giving you some overall.
Oh, really?
The actual.
Oh, wow. You need a seminar.
The stuff in the book. When the book is actually released, I'm gonna go town to town. Instead of doing the traditional book signings, which I think is just stuffy and boring. My book signings are gonna be more of a town hall chat thing. I'm gonna basically spend about an hour of my time fielding questions and talking about different things in the book and inside relationships. And then I'll do my book signing because I want more of an interactive relationship with my audience and with the people who are buying the book. But for those who pre-ordered the book is available for pre-order right now at www.whyhewon'tmarry.com. You can get the book on pre-order. It actually drops on July 1st. The Kindle and ebook version is available on Amazon only. And if you want an autographed copy, that's only available on my site at whyhewon'tmarry.com.
I'm about to order that now. Okay, quick question.
Oh, yeah.
How?
Yes.
You on Kindle right now? I'm about to buy it then.
No, the pre-order is on Kindle right now. It won't release to your Kindle till the 1st, because that's the actual release date. So it won't drop into your Kindle till July 1st. But yeah, the pre-order is definitely up for Kindle, and we are selling pretty well. I mean, I want to thank everybody who's been supportive of the project. I wrote this about a year ago, and people have been very supportive of it since I put it out. I used to throw out, you saw me on Facebook throwing out my crazy hashtags. I would put out, you're a better liar than he is. Hashtag why he won't marry you. I just would put out the most crass things to promote the book, and women would just go apeshit. They'd get on my page and like, what do you mean? What's this going on? What's this book about? But then when I actually wrote the book is really, even though I promote it very harshly, that's all for hype. The book is really a caring literary work that basically tries to get women to understand to reach a goal, you have to change your mindset sometimes. And I point out a lot of things that women do that guys don't necessarily care for but won't tell you. But by no means is it a book that's bashing women or blaming women for bad relationships. I keep reminding people in the book at all times, you have to remember your objective. You want him to ask you something. You know, think about that for a second. You want him to ask you something. Now, he's not aware when he first meets you that he has to ask you something. So you kind of got to steer him and direct him into the way of knowing that there's a question you need to ask me. You know, it's like you can't tell somebody to ask me something. You know what I'm saying? You got to show them that they need to ask you something. The reason why I'm married to the person I'm married to now is because, you know, I said it in my book. I said the difference between Jennifer and the average person is being with Jennifer was like being on Survivor, the show. You know, she had to outlast, outwit, and outplay everybody else. Like I said, I've been popular all my life. So there's always been women around me. But what made her special was she didn't care about all those women around me. She just consistently showed me why she was the one. She never said it. She never said, oh, I'm the one, I'm the one, I'm the one. She didn't beat it in my head. She just consistently did things that was needed at the time they were needed to be done to the point that I didn't see nobody else. And that's part of what women got to understand. Part of this job is on you. You have to show somebody something, not tell them something. People believe, 85% of what they see and 15% of what they hear. So you got to show people versus telling people. We all can say the right words. We all can say the slick stuff, but that doesn't really show me anything. So there's nothing wrong with putting it out there what you want, ladies. There's nothing wrong with putting your foot down and saying, I'm happy with you and I want to be with you. But be a little bit less aggressive, be a lot more loving, and by all means, be more understanding. Because if guys felt they could talk to you and confide in you, they would. They really would. We love to share with our women, but if I share something with you on a Monday, and then 2 months later on a Wednesday, you're throwing it back in my face, then I'm really not going to share with you again. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt I was vulnerable enough to put my wall down to share. But then later on, because it was cool when I shared it, you accepted it well. But then later on, in a totally different conversation, you brought that share back up. And I'm going to tell you, that turns guys off because it's like in his mind, we progressed in the relationship because I felt comfortable being open. But now, some 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, you're throwing my openness back in my face in a totally different situation, which means while I thought we was cool about that openness, it's been bothering you since I said it. So guys will stop telling you stuff, and you don't want that. It's like a child. If you got children out there, ladies, when you we've all said this to our children. I know you did what you did, but if you tell me the truth, I won't do you nothing. Because you want to get the truth out. So you lied to them. Yeah, so we all did it. We all did it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I ain't going to beat you. I ain't going to beat you behind. Just tell me if you stole it. I ain't going to beat you. And as soon as they say, yeah, you commence to beating the hell out of them, okay? So it's like it's no different with grown-ups. When you get a person comfortable enough to tell you and be honest with you, you don't ever want them to not. If you told that kid that you wasn't gonna beat him if he told you the truth, and you commenced to beat him after he told you the truth, do you think he's ever gonna tell you the truth again?
No.
Because you're gonna use the same tactic. You're gonna say, "Oh no, I ain't gonna do you nothing." No, you're gonna think back to, boy, she whipped the belt out, a switch, and extension cord last time she said that. No, I'm just gonna lie my way through this because I would prefer to lie than to get the beating because she's lying to me right now. See, a lie go both ways. You can't get mad at him for lying when you straight lying to him. I'm not going to whip you. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you are. And after being whipped one time, I've learned that as a guy, so I'm not going to tell you the truth. What you want to do more than anything, ladies, is keep a line open to truth. Keep a person comfortable enough to where they feel they can share with you. And even if you don't like the truth, don't use that truth as a weapon later on. Just respect the fact that the person felt comfortable enough to tell it to you. And maybe because that comfort level exists, they'll start to tell you more truths or maybe even stop making truth to tell. You know what I'm saying? So
but you know what?
To me, it's a lot to do with how you deal with a person.
I found that to be both ways because even like I did that to my first marriage, and he brought that up in my face. So it goes both ways.
Right. That's a human being issue. You're absolutely right. It's a human being issue. It is a human being issue. We have to be on both sides of the fence. We have to be better communicators.
Exactly.
We have to be better at accepting information. But the difference here is women are very keen at sharing information and keen at being open. Guys are not. You know what I'm saying? So what you want to do is you want to open that man up. You want to give him a platform by which he feels just as open to share and talk as you do. You can't have a double standard. You can't say, well, hey, I'm going to talk about my exes. But when he talks about his exes, I shut it down. Men see that too. It's like if you freely having conversations with me about your past, then I should freely be able to have conversations about mine. Why, when I have conversations about mine, does it come with, oh, you must still want that woman? Do you still want that guy? I thought we were just having a conversation. So that's another thing that turns guys off. Simple stuff. It's like we were having a conversation about something that you was cool sharing about your past. Now, if I share something about my past, oh, but you got too graphic with it. I'm sorry. I thought we were sharing. I didn't know I didn't know there was a share limit. You open the door to share. I'm trying to share back, and it's like, oh, mine is so wrong. So guys don't like that. We shut down with stuff like that. It's almost like a double standard. It's like it's totally okay for you to tell me about your sexcapade. If I talk about mine, it hurts your feelings. It's the past, people. I'm with you now. You're with me now. These are things that we did before. And there's nothing wrong with talking about your past. Provided you ain't talking about it on a daily basis like you missing it, there's nothing wrong with sharing moments of your past that's reflective of moments that's going on now. We all had a past. We all have to accept the fact that we had a past. And whatever I was doing back then, whatever you was doing back then, we didn't know each other. So whatever happened back then has nothing to do with us right now. People have to allow the past to be the past and move on progressively
let it be
with
in
their future.
Yes.
Right.
I have
I want to
question.
I want to tell your listeners something. I want to tell your listeners a couple of things before I close, just so they know. If you want to get on my mailing list to find out more information about the book, the towns that I'm coming into for the book tour and the town hall meetings and stuff, my email is whyhewon't@gmail. Whyhewon't@gmail. Get on the mailing list so I can keep you up to date to where I'm moving to with the book and what cities we're coming to, so we can have these live discussions. I'm even going to have on my website at whyhewon'tmarry.com. I'm even going to have live discussions twice a month, live chat discussions on the website to discuss the book in July. So that's going to go on pretty much from July to December, twice a month. So there'll always be somewhere we can talk about it. I am putting out a book that is more than just something for you to read, but it's something for us to discuss. So when you purchase my book, it's not like you're purchasing a book to read and talk about amongst your friends. I'm going to have chats twice a month where people can openly discuss it amongst themselves with me. And every time I do a book signing and a town hall meeting sort of signing, part of that whole signing is about discussing the book and discussing how to make these relationships work. Because ultimately, if you bought the book or if you're interested in the book, then it shows me that you're also interested in progressing positively in your relationship. People who care enough about their relationship will take the steps and do the work. You know what I'm saying? And by getting a book and reading a book like this, it's part of taking the steps and do the work. Because like I said, I'm not writing a book that's going to just leave you reading it, and that's my thoughts. We're going to interact about this book. So please go to whyhewon'tmarry.com. Share it with your friends. I tell people all the time, we live in an internet-based world. Sharing is caring. You know what I'm saying? Just simply share this information with your friends. And we want to get this book to go big and viral, get it on the bestsellers list. Because ultimately, I want to make a film. I want to make a movie about it. I wrote the script. The script is available on my site, too. If you want to read the script, that's also available for purchase on the site. If you want to read the book and the script, they're both very different. But as quick as I finished the book, I wrote a film script about it. I'm trying to channel my best, like my frat brother Steve Harvey. I'm trying to channel my greatest Steve Harvey and come up with a hit book that becomes a hit film that we all can enjoy together. So I appreciate everybody's support that has shared my link, all the people who pre-ordered my book, and all the people who will order my book in the future. I thank you in advance, and I promise you won't be disappointed.
Another quick question. I want you in St. Louis. And where can people find you on social media if they have a question regarding your book?
Oh, well, I live on Facebook. I'm on Facebook.com/Gary Sturgis. That's Sturgis. I'm on Twitter and IG, not as much, but I am on there promoting. I'm on Twitter and IG under the name Movie Star G. So you can find me on social media. I'm very, very active on social media. Matter of fact, I met Kimmie on social media. That's how we met. So
yes, you did.
This proves that social media works if you use it correctly. And, that's what God has said. So I thank you, Kim, for giving me the opportunity to even come on your show to speak about my book and about what's going on. And I really would appreciate the support of everybody out there across the globe, because I want to come to your town to discuss my book with you. So this will be totally awesome. I want you to pray us out before you leave.
I want you to pray us out before you leave. But before you pray, I want you to pray us out before you leave. But before you do, I do have a couple interviews and line up for you, and you will love Nita Taylor. She's out of Columbia, Columbus, Ohio. You will love her. Oh my goodness, she's funny. So I'm going to pass you her information so that you guys can connect. But I will be buying your book, but we should do one in St. Louis for sure. I know you.
Yeah, I've never been there. So. I've never been to St. Louis, so I would love to come there. So that let's get people to St. Louis. Let's get some people in St. Louis behind that book, and I will come there and sit and chat with you guys. So let's get some support going. I appreciate everything. I take nothing for granted. I understand that there's a million platforms out there that people can put you on, and sometimes you get some, sometimes you don't. I always appreciate the people who give me time on their stations to talk about what it is I'm doing. I can never thank you enough for that. So I totally appreciate the opportunity.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me to serve you, and I love your enthusiasm because I have learned already just from the interviewing, not the book yet, that you know a lot about relationships and communication because communication is important. So
communication
is
everything.
Yes, and I will be purchasing it today. You inspired me to purchase the book on the pre-order.
I'm like, totally
wow.
Appreciate it.
Well, you know what really got me when you talk about how you guys were raised and how you went into the chapter on that, because unfortunately women, we don't know that. So we do know that, but we tend to overlook it. So we need to really.
That's what I'm here. I'm here to remind you. I'm here to remind you of the things that you tend to overlook, because ultimately, ladies, I want to see you win. The whole reason why I wrote this book is because I see so many women that genuinely want to be married and genuinely want to have meaningful and happy relationships. And I'm just trying to tell you what you can do or what you might be doing that's preventing you from getting it. Some of these things you may read and say, oh, well, that's not me, I don't do that. Or, oh, that's not me, I don't do that. But I promise you, you're going to find yourself somewhere in there. There's somewhere in there you're going to see something that you or somebody you know is doing, and it's going to make it very clear why it's not working from a man's perspective. And that's all I'm trying to do is just give you another way of seeing things. I'm not trying to change the way women think. Think the way you think. But go in with the arsenal of knowing that I now understand how he thinks some too. So when I say this or say that and I get this or that reaction, I'm better understanding the why it's happening. Because women will start processing their own way. Well, you get mad because it's true. No, you get mad because you're annoying him. You know what I mean? You get mad because he's heard it 1,000 times. Nobody wants to be browbeaten with information. If we had this discussion 20 times, I don't want to have it at 21st. Every time I walk in the door, I want to have this discussion. Men are very, very keen on that. Nobody want to argue. Nobody ever wants to argue with you. So if you guys want better relationships, the first place to start is with better communication, and pick up my book, #Why He Won't Marry You.
Amen. Pray us out, my brother.
Well, I'd like to keep it short and sweet. Lord, thank you for this opportunity to sit here in fellowship with both Kimmie and her audience, and having the opportunity to share the book that you gave me, the strength and the power and the glory to write. Because without you, I couldn't have gotten any of this stuff done. Without you, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So to God be the glory in Jesus' name, amen.
And thank you so much, my brother. I love you, and we'll be keeping in touch. I definitely want you in St. Louis.
Hey, well, let's make it happen. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's do it. Okay. Be blessed.
All right. Thank you so much, Kimmie. Bye.
You're welcome.
All right,
it was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Check this out, right? You'll never be ashamed of who you are. If you serve God and serve God proudly, the fact is you should be celebrated. They sitting laughing at me. They thought I wouldn't make it. That's why I'm laughing back and waving at you haters. And if you never listen to this song, never pass it on. I just pray to God that you would come to see the throne. Cause we gon' celebrate. It don't really matter what they gon' say. If they put us in the grave, I guarantee we elevate. So let the haters hate. Cause we gon' celebrate. They put us in the ground. Your boy gon' elevate. I'm on a different level. One that I didn't used to know. Mine off that nouveau. I know my son now is twofold. That's why I'm writing new songs. Preach it like that I'm new on. I'm wealthy in the spirit. Somebody passed a great poop on. My daddy was a gangster. Blackstone Ranger. Now my daddy, that baby that was born up in that manger. They said that I was great, destined to be amazing. But all I saw was the one who died for me, just for me to have relations. And it's crazy how the pressure almost made me conform. But the fact that in 84, Al Kim almost wasn't even born. My mom went for abortion. Doc said